The year is 2030. You wake up. You don't check the weather. Your house has already adjusted the temperature based on your sleep quality score. You don't make coffee. A subscription drone dropped it off 12 minutes ago because an algorithm predicted you'd be groggy today. You walk to a job interview, not with a human, but with an avatar that analyzes your micro-expressions to determine if you're culturally compliant. You don't get the job. Why? Because 6 years ago you made a snarky comment about a specific tech CEO on a platform that, surprise, now owns the database your credit score is built on. Visual, fast montage of stock markets crashing, server farms burning, and a single person holding a smartphone looking terrified. We aren't just talking about chatbots writing bad poetry anymore. We're talking about the three-way knife fight for the operating system of human civilization. On one side, the sleeping giant, Google, terrified of its own shadow. On the other, the ruthless capitalist machine, OpenAI, burning cash faster than a corrupted government. And the Wildcard, xAI, run by the only man crazy enough to plug a supercomputer directly into the global town square. Whoever wins this war doesn't just get your search history, they get to decide what truth is, they get to decide if you have a job, they get to be the new Federal Reserve, the new Supreme Court, and the new God. Welcome to the War of the Three Kings. 1. The sleeping giant. Google. Alphabet. Let's start with the boomer in the room. Google. For 2 decades, Google was the internet. If you wanted to know the capital of Peru, you Googled it. If you wanted to find a restaurant, you Mapsed it. They had a 90% market share on human curiosity. But here's the dark joke. Google actually invented the technology that is currently killing them. The T in GPT, that stands for transformer. Google researchers wrote that paper in 2017. They handed the gun to their executioner, polished the bullets, and then stood there looking confused when the shooting started. Why did they hesitate? Simple. It's called the innovator's dilemma, but I call it the golden handcuffs. Imagine you own a money printer. That's Google search. It prints about $175 billion a year in ad revenue. Now, imagine someone tells you, hey, we built a better printer, but every time you use it, it costs you 10 times more, and you can't show ads on it. You'd bury that invention in the backyard, right? That's exactly what Google did with Lambda and their early AI models. They sat on them because an AI answer doesn't need you to click a blue link. And if you don't click the link, Google doesn't get paid, but they couldn't hide forever. By late 2025, the crack started showing. Statistics from late 2025 showed Google's global search share finally dipping below that invincible 90% mark, hitting 89.5%. It doesn't sound like much, does it? Just a flesh wound. Until you look at the desktop numbers. On computers, where real work happens, their share plummeted to 79%. People aren't using Google to code anymore. They use ChatGPT or Claude. They aren't using Google to write emails. They use copilots. Sundar Pichai declared a code red, merging DeepMind and Brain into a desperate superlab. But the problem isn't the tech, it's the economics. A traditional Google search costs them roughly 0.3 cents. An AI query, estimates say it's 3 to 5 cents. Do the math. If Google switches everything to AI to compete with OpenAI, they effectively burn their own profit margin to ash. They're $1 trillion hostage in their own headquarters. 2. The capitalist engine, OpenAI. If Google is the hesitant king, OpenAI is the usurper who sold his soul for a faster horse. Let's be clear, OpenAI is not a non-profit anymore. That cute little mission statement about benefiting all of humanity, that's dead. Buried in the backyard next to Google's integrity. By 2025, OpenAI became the fastest growing consumer product in history, but they have a massive, terrifying secret. They are bleeding money. According to financial reports circulating in late 2025, OpenAI was burning roughly $5 billion a year just to keep the lights on. We're talking about a company projecting $143 billion in negative cash flow over the next few years. Why? because training GPT-5 and GPT-6 isn't like coding an app. It's like building a particle accelerator. You need hundreds of thousands of NVIDIA H100 GPUs, each costing as much as a luxury car. You need enough electricity to power a medium-sized country. This is where Microsoft comes in. Satya Nadella didn't just invest in OpenAI, he effectively bought the rights to their brain. OpenAI is now legally obligated to pay back Microsoft's billions before they can even think about profit sharing. This creates a dangerous incentive. OpenAI cannot slow down. They cannot be safe. They must reach AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, a machine that can do any human job, because that is the only product valuable enough to pay off their debts. Think about that. The company leading the AI race isn't trying to save the world. They are trying to pay off a credit card bill that is the size of the GDP of Hungary. If they stop, they die. So they won't stop. Even if it breaks the labour market. Even if it breaks us. 3. The Wildcard, xAI, Elon Musk. And then there's the chaos agent. The man who bought the global town square, set it on fire, and is now trying to read the smoke signals. Elon Musk and xAI. If Google is the nervous librarian and OpenAI is the corporate shark, xAI is the guy in the corner wearing a tinfoil hat who actually knows the nuclear launch codes. For a long time, people thought Musk buying Twitter for $44 billion was the worst financial decision since the invention of the NFT. They said he overpaid, they said he broke it. But they were looking at the wrong chessboard. He didn't buy a social media company. He bought the world's only real-time stream of human consciousness. Think about it. When an earthquake hits Japan, where do you see it first? Google takes 15 minutes to index a news article. ChatGPT's knowledge cutoff is usually 6 months ago, but Twitter, it's instant. xAI's model, Grok, has a superpower the others don't. Access to the now. While ChatGPT is politely explaining the history of the Roman Empire, Grok can look at 1,000 live tweets and tell you exactly why a riot just started in Paris, analyse the sentiment of the crowd, and pull up the video footage before CNN even has a camera crew on the ground. And Musk isn't playing fair with hardware either. In mid-2024, xAI brought the Colossus supercomputer online in Memphis. It's a cluster of 100,000 NVIDIA H100s. To put that in perspective, it normally takes a data center 4 years to build a cluster that size. Musk's team did it in 122 days. They literally used portable gas turbines to bypass the local power grid because the city couldn't feed the beast fast enough. This is the brute force approach. Musk believes that if you throw enough power and enough raw, unfiltered human chatter at a chip, you won't just get a chatbot. You'll get a digital god that doesn't care about corporate safety guidelines. But here's the scary part for the economy. Grok isn't designed to be safe or politically correct. It's designed for maximum truth-seeking, according to Musk. But who defines truth? When the AI is trained on your angry 3 a.m. tweets, does it learn truth? Or does it just learn rage? 4. The Great Data Famine, the Ouroboros problem. So we have 3 kings fighting, but they all share the same starving addiction: data. Here is the dirty secret of the AI economy. We have run out of internet. By 2024, these models had already read Wikipedia, the entire Library of Congress, all of Reddit, and basically every public website in existence. They upped the entire collective history of human thought in about 5 years. And now, they are hungry. This is why the internet is suddenly locking its doors. Reddit sold its data to Google for $60 million a year. Stack Overflow signed a deal with OpenAI. The New York Times sued OpenAI. The days of the open web are dead. If you're a small business or a creator, you are now just training data. Your blog posts, consumed. Your YouTube comments, digested. So what happens when they run out of human writing? They start training AI on text written by other AIs. This leads to a phenomenon researchers call model collapse. It's like distinct biological inbreeding. If you feed a photocopy of a photocopy back into the machine enough times, the image turns into black sludge. If GPT-6 is trained on blog posts written by GPT-5, the intelligence doesn't go up. It goes crazy. It starts hallucinating facts, forgetting basic logic, and becoming a caricature of intelligence. This is the Habsburg AI scenario. Models so inbred on their own output that they become deformed digital royalty, ruling over a kingdom of nonsense. The economic consequence. This makes human data the new oil. If you can prove you're a real human writing real thoughts, your words are suddenly a luxury asset. Imagine a future where verified human content is a premium subscription, while the poor are forced to consume AI slop, news articles, entertainment and education generated by machines for fractions of a penny, likely filled with subtle errors that shape your reality without you noticing. You think fake news is bad now? Wait until the news is being written by a hallucinating robot that's trying to sell you supplements. Speaking of humans, I am one, I think. If you want to help me prove I'm not a hallucination, hit that subscribe button. It helps the algorithm know that meat sacks are still watching videos, and let me know in the comments. Who do you trust more with your future? The chaotic billionaire, Musk, the corporate suit, Altman, or the faceless algorithm, Google? I'm genuinely curious which dystopia you prefer. 5. The death of white-collar work, the agentic shift. While we were arguing about whether AI art is real art, the companies we just talked about quietly changed the game. They stopped building chatbots and started building agents. What's the difference? A chatbot is like a smart librarian. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. An agent is like an employee. You give it a goal, and it goes and does it. Enter Project Jarvis and the Operator. In late 2024 and throughout 2025, leaks confirmed Google was working on Project Jarvis, an AI that takes over your Chrome browser. It clicks buttons, it fills out forms, it books flights. Meanwhile, OpenAI launched Operator, a tool designed to navigate the web autonomously. This is the economic nuclear bomb. We already saw the test run. Remember when Klarna, the buy now pay later giant, announced its AI customer service results? It did the work of 700 full-time agents. It slashed resolution times from 11 minutes to 2 minutes. It worked 24/7 in 35 languages, and it cost basically nothing compared to a human salary. Now, apply that to your job. You are an entry-level analyst. An agent can pull the data, format the Excel sheet, and email the boss before you've even logged in. You're a junior coder. An agent can debug the entire repo while you're pouring coffee. The middle management massacre. This isn't about robots flipping burgers. This is about the email class. If your job involves sitting at a computer and moving information from tab A to tab B, you are in the blast zone. Economists are calling this the hollow middle. The experts at the top, who tell the AI what to do, get richer. The manual labourers at the bottom, plumbers, nurses, electricians, are safe because robots are still clumsy. But everyone in the middle, the juniors, the coordinators, the assistants, they are evaporated, and the three kings, Google, OpenAI, xAI, are racing to sell the tool that replaces you first. 6. The nuclear option, literally. But there is a physical limit to this digital godhood: electricity. It turns out simulating human intelligence takes a lot of juice. A standard Google search uses 0.3 watt-hours of energy. A ChatGPT query uses roughly 10 times that. By 2025, data centers were consuming more power than our entire nations. The grid was buckling. The AI kings realized that if they wanted to build God, they needed to build their own power plants first. This is where the story gets so absurd you'd think I was making it up. In a deal with Constellation Energy, Microsoft agreed to restart 3 Mile Island. Yes, that 3 Mile Island. The site of the worst nuclear accident in US history. They are literally bringing a nuclear zombie back from the dead just to train GPT-6. They renamed it the Crane Clean Energy Center, but we know what it is: a shrine to the energy hunger of AI. Google didn't want to be left out. They signed a massive deal with Kairos Power to build a fleet of SMRs, small modular reactors. These are basically pocket-sized nuclear plants that can be dropped next to data centers. Think about the geopolitical shift here. These tech companies are no longer just software companies. They are becoming energy sovereigns. They are the new oil barons. They own the intelligence. They own the data. And now, they own the nuclear power. If you are a government regulator trying to tell OpenAI what to do, good luck. They control the grid. They are building infrastructure faster than the state can permit a pothole repair. We are moving toward a world where the GDP of Microsoft Nation is larger than most G7 countries, backed by its own nuclear arsenal. Strictly for compute, of course. 7. Who actually wins? The 3 future scenarios. So, who takes the crown? If I had to bet my last non-digital dollar, here are the 3 ways this plays out. Scenario A, the Google comfort trap. Google wins by being the path of least resistance. They don't need to be the smartest, they just need to be everywhere. In this future, you don't choose an AI. It's just built into your phone, your email, your docs, and your car. You stop asking questions because the answer is already there before you think of it. It's a soft, comfortable cage. You are safe, you're entertained, and you have absolutely no privacy. But hey, the Wi-Fi is free. Scenario B. The OpenAI Microsoft empire OpenAI wins by capturing the economy. They become the standard oil of intelligence. Every corporation runs on GPT-7. Every government agency runs on Azure. If you want to start a business, you have to pay the intelligence tax to Sam Altman. They control the price of thought. It's a world of extreme efficiency, where the gap between the AI haves and AI have-nots isn't a gap, it's a canyon. Scenario C. The xAI Wild West. Musk wins by breaking the rules. xAI becomes the engine of the counterculture. While the corporate world uses safe AI, the rebels, the hackers, and the independent creators use Grok. It's messy. It's dangerous. Misinformation flies like shrapnel. But it's the only place where you can get an answer that hasn't been sanitized by a PR department. It's freedom, but freedom with zero guardrails. 8. The final verdict. The illusion of choice. But here is the twist ending you were waiting for. It doesn't matter who wins, because whether it's Sundar, Sam, or Elon, the result for you is the same. We are moving from an attention economy, where they fought for your eyeballs, to an intention economy, where they predict what you want to do and do it for you. When the AI books your travel, buys your groceries, and picks your news, you stop being the user. You become the pet. A well-fed, well-loved pet, maybe, but a pet nonetheless. The economy of the future isn't about who has the best chatbot. It's about who owns the interface between you and reality. If Google controls what you see, OpenAI controls what you work on, and xAI controls what you believe. Do you really have free will? Or are you just a biological variable in their algorithm? So what do? Don't just be a consumer of this tech. Be a pilot. Learn how these systems work. Learn to run local models that you control. Do not outsource your critical thinking to a server farm in Virginia. The AI wars are just beginning. The generals are gathering their nuclear fuel and their 600 chips. But remember, they need us. Without our data, they starve. Without our prompts, they are silent. We are still the source code. For now, if this video didn't give you an existential crisis, I failed. Click that like button if you want me to do a deep dive on how to build your own personal AI server so you can opt out of the madness. And also, look out for the video where I explain why the Nvidia bubble might be the biggest financial trap of the decade. This is Econopoint. I'll see you in the future, assuming the algorithm lets me.